What's good? It's your boy Fanon. I'm going to talk about heavyweight boxing, man. You know these fights are coming up in March with Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. And as far as heavyweights, man, this is going to be the best month of fights I've seen, in a while, a good long while. So I'm really looking forward to it. First, take care. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon. I want to do these live streams and get as many people in the live streams as possible when we do them. And the best way to know when they're coming up is to hit the bell icon. And also, I'm going to link articles that I do to the Twitter account. So if you hit the Twitter account and follow, that'd be cool as well. But regardless, let me get into it. These fights are incredibly dangerous fights definitely for for Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. It's a super dangerous fight for Luis Ortiz. It's a super dangerous fight for Deontay Wilder. Also, it's a bigger gap between the two fighters, between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker, but still, anything can happen in this March that's coming up. So while I'm going through my video feeds and the channels I subscribe to, read news articles, because man, I'm pretty much a boxing addict, man. I'm loving it, and I love the different conversations that are going on. There's one stream of thought though that goes around with this whole thing with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua that I really do not think is a very positive thing for the sport of boxing. And the longer I've been a fan and the more that I watch, the more I'm just interested in seeing what's going to happen in the ring. But there are people, I love talking about the business of boxing, right? And how it leads to people to make certain decisions, whatever, right? And I understand it. So I'm always willing to talk about it. It's fun, but it's not what drives my love of the sport. My love of the sport comes from seeing the best fight the best and seeing what's going to actually happen in the ring. You can't win a fight before it happens. So today I ran into this YouTube deal that said embarrassment. Check out the guy's page. If you know who he is, it's cool. I'm not going to mention guy's name in this video, but a bright guy out of the UK, man, loves boxing. Much respect to him. I've heard him talk about other things, man. I've enjoyed listening to him. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, man, it's like some of these cats who want to put out narratives about Deontay Wilder not being popular in the United States. It just amazes me. So the ticket sales for Deontay Wilder. Now, we all know that Anthony Joshua is very, very popular in the United States of America. In the United Kingdom. We all understand that. That's a given. That's not anything that I've ever heard anybody make an argument about, right? On the United States side, on the people that support Deontay Wilder in this Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua thing, I never ever hear somebody saying that Anthony Joshua is not popular, right? He's popular, okay? Dude's popular, all right? He's like the boy band of boxing right now, all right? In the UK, I got him. He's your boys. He's the UK version of whatever you call it, whoever the local boy bands are, man. But just because you got boy band popularity, man, does not mean that you're the best. It doesn't, man. Just because back in the day there was Pat Boone and who else? Some boy bands like whatever it was, Justin Timberlake's band, whatever he used to be on, that boy band. There's a lot of boy bands that sell a lot of albums, man. It does not mean that they're good musicians or that their music is going to hold up over time. It just means they're popular. And that's cool. That's all good, man. I don't have any hate on people that make their money, people that are popular. Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift sells a lot of albums. It's all good. It's all good. She's popular, but she's just popular. Taylor Swift has probably sold more albums than Aretha Franklin. That doesn't mean that Taylor Swift is a better musician or a better singer than Aretha Franklin. just because she sold more albums. It just, there is the popularity of someone, and then there is the performance, right? And I love talking about popularity. It's cool. You know what I mean? It helps pay the bills for the fighters. It adds intrigue to the boxing conversation. But, being a boy band star does not mean that you're the best fighter. You know what I mean? Prince Nazim Hamed, hey man, that cat was popular. Then he came and fought somebody that wasn't popular in Marco Antonio Barrera and got knocked off. It happens. Just Chris Eubank. I think that's what Eddie Hearn said about Chris Eubank, ironically. He just said, hey, he's a star, but, he's not ever going to beat anybody that's world class. That was Eddie Hearn's take on it. Now, I'm not saying that's the truth about Anthony Joshua, but I'm just trying to separate the issue between who's most popular, right, and who is the best fighter. And the only way to really settle who the best fighter is to see them fight in the ring. However, there was a narrative that was laid out by looking at the ticket sales of Deontay Wilder's fight against Luis Ortiz, right? And if you go to Ticketmaster, I'm not gonna put up Ticketmaster's video or anything like that, because you never know how that stuff goes. That could be considered like advertising for Ticketmaster, so I'm not gonna do that. But and that would be a violation of the terms and conditions of YouTube, and I don't want to do that. I'm a YouTube partner, want to stay that way, and I abide by their rules and regulations, and I have no problem doing it. So, but you see all these blues spread across the screen, right? And at first glance, you say, wow, okay, man, that's a lot of spaces. Must be a lot of tickets available. But, being the contrarian that I am, I go and I look up and say, okay, well, let me see how many tickets are actually available. Because, wow, that really does look from the screen that I see a lot of blue, and blue is where the sections are where there are tickets available. And then there are, the areas that are blacked out are the ones where they're not available. So I'm looking at the Barclays Center and saying, wow, man, what is it? So I go look and I pull out Microsoft Excel and I'd go cell by cell. I look at each section and I say, okay, how many seats are available? They put it there and I count them out, right? Now, first thing I did is I look at the capacity. How many tickets are there? And how many tickets are left to be sold on Ticketmaster? Now, I'm not talking about secondary ticket markets or whatever, scalpers. I don't know any of that stuff as it relates to the Barclays Center. But my basic YouTube research told me that the Barclays Center has about 19,000 people. The capacity of to seat 19,000 people. And so I count the sections that are available, and it winds up that there are 1,473 seats available. Now, I'm not going to do what look at the blue and see how many seats are. Wow, how embarrassing. I'm going to actually count and see how many seats are actually available. So there were 1,473 tickets as of this morning on 7 days out from the bout available in a capacity of 19,000. So simple mathematics. What is 19,000 minus 1,473? It's 17,527. So as of today, Deontay Wilder's head event in New York City at the Barclays Center has sold 17,527 tickets out of 19,000. So then I went even a step further. I said, wow, well, that is less than 10%, right? Because 19,000, 10% of the tickets a week out would be 1,900. So we're a little bit less than 10%. So maybe 8% of the tickets are left a week out. So then I go and I do research and I look at trends of ticket selling, ticket sales. I say, okay, well, when do people usually buy tickets for sporting events? And I go to a website, and because I'm not an expert on this, but I just, I figure, hey, I'll just see what I can find on it. And it says I go to a website and it's called TickPick blog. And you can check it out as blog.tickpick.com, where smart fans buy tickets. And it's an article written in May of this year by Jack Singland. And it says, when is the best time to buy tickets, concerts, and sports? And then you go down to this very, very detailed article from the fan perspective about when the best time to buy tickets are to get the best price. And for sporting events, they say in general, we find on average that the best time to buy tickets to a sporting event is 3 to 4 days prior, when the inventory levels are still high. So let me reiterate what he says in a blog, tickpick.com, where smart fans buy and sell tickets, what he says about sporting events and when fans buy tickets 3 to 4 days prior, when the inventory levels are still high. So they're saying, not talking specifically about Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, but about ticket sales for sporting events in the United States on a site that specializes in buying tickets to sporting and concert events, that inventory levels are still high 3 to 4 days prior. So I think it's safe to assume that in sporting events and concerts in the United States, that a lot of tickets are available 3 to 4 days ahead of time. And that's when smart ticket buyers buy the tickets. They wait for the price to drop. When they say the smart guy waits to 3 to 4 days prior, when the inventory levels are still high. They don't wait till the second 1 day or 2 days before, but pretty much 3 to 4 days is the sweet spot. We are still 3 days away from that ticket spot, with only 8% of the tickets available for the Luis Ortiz Deontay Wilder fight. You can go check yourself. You can look up, and here I'm citing my sources, Ticketmaster. In the United States, we know who Ticketmaster is. If you're in the UK, that's kind of like Sports Hub. Now, I don't think that that's embarrassing at all. What's embarrassing about that? They're well on their way to selling 19,000 tickets. That's how it goes. Now, interestingly enough, we hear comments about Anthony Joshua selling out his arenas. Since we're talking about how tickets get sold, selling out arenas in 8 seconds. I guarantee you, the people that end up with those tickets are not the ones, they're not twicking their fingers that quick. It's not possible. Most of those tickets are already pre-sold to secondary ticket markets. They're already sold before the events even start. And then you have large swaths of people. You have people buying stuff up and selling them on secondary ticket markets. And that is why Matchroom and secondary ticket buyers for sporting events in the UK are under investigation by the equivalent of their Better Business Bureau. But what is it? Basically, it's the consumer rights, whoever the organization in the UK that are responsible for consumer protection. That's why they're investigating the ticket sales, and Matchroom Boxing is involved in that. And that's why their tickets go in 8 seconds. And you can't get a ticket at the box office, but if you don't get it in the first 0.02 seconds that the tickets come available. Now, that is not in any way, shape, or form saying that Anthony Joshua is not terribly popular, is not terrifically popular in the UK. He is, no doubt about it. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for UK fans, without a doubt. And nobody that I've heard that is a supporter of Deontay Wilder has ever called that into question, the popularity of it. Similar to People have not questioned the popularity of Taylor Swift when she was popular, right? Or Cardi B. Nobody's questioning whether or not she's popular. I've heard people question whether or not she's any good. That's a difference. So, as far as whether or not Anthony Joshua is popular, without a doubt, nobody's questioning it. Whether or not Deontay Wilder is known popular as in the United States as Anthony Joshua is in the UK, that's not a question either. No, he's not. He's not the number one boxer in the United States. I suspect that he's probably number 3 behind Floyd Mayweather if he ever comes out, right? Canelo Alvarez, who's Mexican, but he fights in the United States. And then there's probably Deontay Wilder because Adrian Brawner has kind of fallen off, but he's around number 3. However, acting as if Deontay Wilder is embarrassing because a week out, he's only sold 92% of his tickets when the majority of tickets are sold 2 to 3 days before the event. This man is well on his way to selling all those tickets, man. Well on his way. But that's aside from the point. Now, I just wanted to first of all, debunk that the man has any reason to be embarrassed, right? As if, as if Aretha Franklin should be embarrassed that she didn't sell as many tickets as Taylor Swift, right? Nah, I don't see why she would. I don't see what Deontay Wilder has to be embarrassed about. What's embarrassed about headlining a card at the Barclays Center on national TV, having sold 17,000 tickets, being 39-0 with 38 KOs, being having 7 title defenses for the WBC championship belt? What's embarrassing about that? Because he didn't sell as many tickets as one guy? But that's okay. Embarrassment aside, let's talk about whether or not Anthony Joshua can beat Deontay Wilder in the ring. I don't know, and I want to see. Now, I see what can happen when boxers should be embarrassed. Some boxers should be embarrassed, like, Adrian Brawner should be embarrassed that he keeps getting arrested. That should be embarrassing. That's a reason to get embarrassed. All right, like, God dog, I keep acting a fool and I keep getting dragged on TV and people like acting like, I'm some juvenile delinquent. That's something to be embarrassed about. Maybe Omar Figueroa getting, pulled over the same day as Adrian Brawner had his issue. That could be something to be embarrassed about. Maybe that. But only selling 92% of your tickets in a 17,000 seat arena. And by the way, that's big in the United States. That's a big one in the United States. That's how big they are. We don't have outdoor arenas where boxing matches are held. We just don't have them. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to make a lot of money. And that's not, it is what it is. But I'm not saying that Deontay Wilder is more popular than Deontay Wilder. I'm saying I want to see Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua get in the ring. But before that happens, quite honestly, Deontay Wilder got to get past this very tough test that he has in the Barclays Center in front of 19,000 people, right? In front of 19,000 people on March 3rd. And if he gets past that, and if he gets past it, then it's the next step. It's the next step. We'll see. Anthony Joshua in front of 80,000 people. He's got to get his job done in front of 80,000 people. He's done it. He's done it before. He's got to do it. He's got to do it against Joseph Parker. If they get that together, then hey, man, I like at least what Eddie Hearn is saying, at the side of his neck, that hey, man, they could do one, and Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder can do one in the United States, and they can do one in the UK. I don't care. They could do it. They could do it in Australia, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to go to the fight. I'm just going to be able to watch the thing. I'm going to watch it on ESPN. I don't care if it's on ESPN, Showtime, whatever. At this point in time, I just want to see the bouts happen. And March is going to be a very, very good month of boxing for the heavyweights. I'm hoping that they both win. Now may the best man win. If Joseph Parker pulls it off, hey, cool. Joseph Parker pulled it off. More than likely, there would be a rematch. If Luis Ortiz pulls it off, hey, man, he pulled it off. You know, more than likely, there'd be a rematch. But, you know, if they win, let the best man win and, you know, make it hot. As far as all these popularity contests and, you know, who sells the most tickets and all of that stuff, you know, that's not my money. That's not anybody. That's their money. And good for them. You know what I mean? Good for them. And we'll see what happens. But anyway, man, that's me on that one. Yeah, so subscribe, like, hit the bell icon, man. Follow the Twitter deal. That would be cool. So that way we can do these live streams. I'm going to do one later this afternoon. And so after the Callum Smith, or maybe before the Callum Smith bout, and I'm out. Peace.